Welcome to Delta Green, God's Teeth, brought to you by Black Project Gaming. Get read in at blackprojectgaming.com. I'm Vince, your host and handler for this campaign. Joining me are Cami as FBI Special Agent Sarah Hart, Doug as Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent Gerrald Bear Swenson, Jack as Special Agent Adrian Selivanov with the FBI's Computer Analysis Response Team, and Sonia as Dr. Leah Caron with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. God's Teeth is a campaign of unthinkable horrors, written by Caleb Stokes for Delta Green, the role-playing game. For more information on Delta Green, please visit delta-green.com. Music in these episodes is brought to you by Cryo Chamber and Epidemic Sound. This podcast contains depictions of and allusions to violence against both children and animals, as well as unnatural horror, graphic violence, and adult language. As a result, it is intended solely for mature audiences. Listener discretion is strongly advised. So, in our last session, you investigated the Cunningham Farm murder scene before you contacted local law enforcement. Of course, you were brought there by the identification of one of Carrie Houghton's murderers as Thomas Perez Cunningham, and your initial records checks, identity verification, the facial recognition results you got back from Anthony Pitzerelli led you to the Cunningham farm in Maryland. Of course, you found a grisly scene, the mother and father stabbed to death along with two of the other foster children. While you were there, Dr. Caron, you checked the bodies, you identified defensive wounds, confirmed that they had been stabbed to death, likely by one assailant equipped with a large bladed hunting knife. Adrian, you decided to check out the barn, where you found stalls filled with horses that were initially disturbed by your arrival. You had been overpowered by the scent of the stalls themselves, which had not been cleaned out for weeks, as long as the family and the house itself had been deceased. Two horses appeared to have already been starved to death and were dead and decaying. Sarah, you joined Adrian in the barn, and you attempted to feed and water the surviving horses. It started with one horse, staring unnaturally at the two of you, preternaturally calm. Then all of the horses began staring at you, to the point where the barn became eerily silent. It was when you opened one of the stalls, Sarah, that a horse stepped back and began to panic, and the rest soon followed suit, as if they were backing up and away from a predator. Bear, you searched the house of Velasquez, didn't find anything particularly evidence-worthy. You found books and ledgers documenting the farm's expenditures, medical records for the kids, including Thomas. Those records included notes on therapy sessions, visits, and they identified that some of Thomas's developmental disabilities had started to clear. Thomas had been initially nonverbal, which was attributed to past trauma, which of course you all knew about, and had gradually started to come out of his shell. None of the children, with the exception of Thomas, had come from Cornucopia House, and Sarah, you took the opportunity to snap some photos of the notes and the records before you put them back where you found them. You also found a tablet and books in Thomas's room. There were records of videos that he had been looking up related to nature documentaries, that sort of thing. A lot of books related to nature, the outdoors, animals. Adrian, you took the opportunity to forensically extract the data from both the family computer and Thomas's tablet. When the search was completed, Velasquez called it in to the local sheriff's office and remained on site to liaise with them while you made your way back to Zion, Maryland. On the ride back, Adrian, you cataloged the contents of the devices you had exploited at the Cunningham farm, but no significant findings in their contents. It was on that ride back, though, that you had this epiphany, this revelation, wanting to know what is possibly behind all of this. And you somehow came to this random conclusion that physics are nothing more than a paltry attempt to explain away or deny an active and universal hunger at work in the cosmos. When you all returned to Zion, Sarah, you got a call from Pitzerelli. He asked about the Cunningham farm. He confirmed that he would let you all go after the three murderers, including Thomas Perez, once the Cornucopia House cover-up is complete. He did agree to push the final meeting to Tuesday to give you all time to get access to the adoption records, which was the one outstanding item on your to-do list. And he did say he would try to help you get a warrant, which ultimately turned out to be unnecessary because, Adrian, you managed to forge a convincing warrant yourself to get you all access to those adoption records. Later that evening, Velasquez called Sarah, confirmed that an all-points bulletin was put out for Thomas for the murders of his family members as well as Carrie Houghton. Sarah, you told Velasquez that you all had managed to get the warrant, and Velasquez said she would try to find someone to let you all in that following Sunday. During your all's downtime, Bear, you went to a Petco looking for animals to do a little bit of an experiment. You chose a cat to handle and pet. The cat just stared at you calmly, let you pet it. The employee that was working with you said it was probably the calmest he'd seen that cat since she had gotten there. You chose a second cat and got almost the same reaction. Also during that downtime, Leah, you went over the notes and files you took pictures of at the Cunningham farm, and you reviewed them in the context of what you had found at Cornucopia House back in 2001. And you concluded that the children had to have been conditioned to be nonverbal, likely through violent and systemic punishment for simply speaking. The next day, Leah, you conveyed your theory that whatever force is behind all of this doesn't communicate like people do. In fact, if anything, it communicates like an animal would. The question arose as how would the children have been able to connect with each other if they were punished for attempting to do so? And how they connected might be how they're connecting now. Adrian, you connected it to Elle challenging you all in that video of Carrie Houghton's murder, where she held up the victim's teeth to the camera. Sarah and Adrian, you realized that you can't hunt without teeth, and that makes you prey. You all briefly discussed who to pin the Cornucopia House failings on. It was concluded that Maryland State Police was the only real culprit for this, considering that the Cecil County Sheriff's Office had only been on scene for a couple of days before the state police took over. So that means protecting Velasquez as a whistleblower, potentially asking Pitzerelli and his connections to try to help her land on her feet, or in addition to potentially fully recruit her as a member of the program. The Maryland State Police either missed or intentionally overlooked the evidence of a child pornography production and distribution ring based on the ledgers and the videos you found in the shed. And the two detectives who investigated, Baswell and Dale, are dead. They can't defend themselves, and so it is all too easy to pin it on them. Later on that day, on that Sunday, Velasquez managed to find a clerk to open the state archives for you so you could access those adoption records. And that's where you found that your best and most likely lead would be the King Torino Children's Refuge in North Carolina, where 4 children ended up, including Elle Gable. And you concluded the highest concentration of follow-up material probably exists there. Adrian, you confirmed that Franklin Price is at the Charlotte's Rest Veterans Home located south of Washington, D.C. And as a reminder, Franklin Price was Carrie Houghton's predecessor as a social worker responsible for covering Cornucopia House. And with that, you all headed back to Zion to discuss the way ahead with Velasquez. So it is now Sunday, the 28th of August, 2016, sometime in the afternoon. You all are on your way back to Zion. What is the plan?
Well, you said we're still in the car, right?
Yeah, you would have left the State Archives building in Annapolis, Maryland, and began making your way back to Zion. And Velasquez is following you all in her car. Because I believe the plan was to rendezvous with her at y'all's hotel so you could discuss on the way ahead.
Yeah, I think before that happens, though, to just have a discussion between us is probably important so that, like, we have a plan of attack, so to speak, when we decide to bring her into the fold. But Adrian will glance up from his laptop and say, so where do we go from here? I mean, we got this cop with us. We've got kids. We've got Franklin Price. We have predators and prey.
We have leads we can follow, but the first thing that has to be solved is the cover-up, the meeting with Pitzerelli, and figuring out who to pin this all on and how to protect Velasquez while we're at it.
We're just going to pin it on those stupid cops, right?
Exactly. But we have to convey that through the meeting.
Wait a second. When you say, what do we do next? I mean, as soon as we finish pinning this on whoever you guys decide to pin it on, we're out of here, right? I mean, I'm not sticking around for any more of this.
Are we allowed to be? I mean, I guess you have a point, right? I mean, that's it.
I'm getting the fuck out, man.
This is my first time, and it's become a lot more than I thought it would be.
I don't think it's that simple, Bear.
That's not what I wanted to hear.
No.
Think about it. All these years later, we're called back together.
Yeah, they clear our names. Our names are going to be cleared, right?
There is still no explanation for why our names showed up with that body.
But Bear has a point, though, right? Like I wasn't a part of that. Like I'm. This is all I need to do, right? Like once this is done, I get to go home, and like no offense, I know that I don't want to be Debbie Downer, and like you all have been great to work with, but like this is way above my pay grade.
Don't be surprised if the qualifications for a job being done change at the very last minute. It happens all the time. We'll see how the conversation with Pitzerelli goes and go from there.
What do you mean change all the time? What is this? Dear handler, do I have Pitzerelli's number?
You do, yeah.
I'm gonna, as you know, on the sly as I can, text him that we need to talk.
Go ahead and make a stealth roll.
All right.
Incredible. With a 22 out of 22, thus a critical success. Yeah, you are able to surreptitiously kind of reach into your pocket, get your cell phone out kind of down by your thigh, and begin working the keyboard to type out a text message to Pitzerelli. And you're just saying you need to talk?
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I'm younger. You know, I don't need to look at the screen while I'm typing. My fingers know what to do. So I'm just sort of looking at everybody as I'm typing. But yeah, I'm just texting him. We need to talk.
Okay. You feel the vibration of the phone a couple seconds later. When? ?
I don't know it, but I'm sure Adrian would know like what time they plan on being back. So I'll give him like a window of like 2 hours.
Okay. You get a thumbs up reaction to that text.
Yeah, just sort of adjust myself in the seat a bit and stay a bit quiet while everyone else is sort of talking about what's happening.
Yeah, I think just she's kind of noting the hesitance in the group and isn't pushing it right now, but just driving the rest of the way to the hotel.
If it's relatively quiet on the way back, people just processing both what they found at the Cunningham farm and their discovery in the state archives regarding how the system just completely failed these kids and just shipped them off routinely to be somebody else's problem. We can pick up with your arrival back at the hotel. So you all pull up. Velasquez pulls in an adjacent spot, gets out. So we heading up to talk about this?
Yeah, let's go.
And you all reconvene in Sarah's room.
Yeah, I take whatever's in the mini fridge and offer it to people while we sit down to figure this out.
I'll take a soda.
Boring, okay.
The bear like piling up the little mini bottles of, you know, like Jim Beam and all that.
Sarah's probably having something like that herself.
He's just like pouring like 3 different types of whiskey in the same thing.
Yeah, Leah definitely like spikes her hot chocolate, but it's definitely a hot chocolate.
Yeah, I was going to ask Sarah, what's mainly in the mini bar? Like, have you stocked it yourself? Have you stuck with whatever the hotel provided, or have you made some additions?
It's probably mostly whatever the hotel provides, unless she's noticed other team members, if they like always have something they go for. Because we've had a couple meetings here in the morning already. So if they're always like, hold on, I got to go get this drink before we start, she'll like just have them on hand so that they can be efficient. So there's probably a couple drinks if everyone has like a favorite.
Well, if that's the case, it's probably a Red Bull for Adrian.
Nice.
Velasquez will just ask for a water.
Yeah, I hand her one.
So did you all, I'm guessing you found what you were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have some next steps and directions that we can continue to take. I think what's most important right now, though, is that before we fly off to continue is wrapping up what's going on here, which is primarily that Baswell and Dale fucked this. And I don't want to get you in trouble, but we are going to have to pin it on them because it is their fault.
Yeah, I saw the writing on the wall.
I can talk to the district attorney, see if there's steps we can take to ensure your protection as a whistleblower in this, if you want to go that route.
Yeah, that'd probably be for the best. I'm going to be persona non grata in that department.
Yeah, probably.
Fuck.
This doesn't have to be the end of your career, though.
Well, if the state police have anything to say about it, it might as well be.
Have you ever thought of looking more federal?
Wouldn't say no.
All right, might be an option.
Okay, so Baswell and Dale take the fall. They can't defend themselves. I mean, they're dead. It makes sense.
You, honestly, in the public, get lauded as someone who found out the details about this and brought them to light. So you might get a few publicity points in that direction, at least.
Ooh, no. No, I want my name kept out of this as much as I can, at least in the public.
Fair enough.
Better them than you.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, you all have been doing this for a minute. You know how much politics can fuck with what it is we try to do for a living.
I think it's at this point where my phone starts to buzz, and I'll kind of like get up and say, hey, sorry, guys, I gotta take this, but I'll be right back.
Where does Adrian go to take that call?
Probably back to his room.
Easy enough. When you answer, it is Pitzerelli. What do you got?
They're doing everything you wanted them to do. They're lining up a plot. They're going to pin it on the dead cops. We recruited Velasquez, the other cop. They seem to be falling in line. But listen, that's not what I'm calling about.
Okay. What are you calling about?
They've been talking about. This is all I'm supposed to do, right? Once the goal here was to make sure that this whole thing was secure in the bag, and then I'm out, right? I'm not keeping with this group, right? This is a one and done thing.
I'm guessing you want it to be?
Well, with all due respect, after the things that I've seen, I don't know if I'm cut out for it.
You remember when we briefed you into the program, right?
Yes, but that was one thing. Like that, it's another thing to actually see it.
So who would you recommend I send in your place?
I don't know. I did what you asked. Okay, I kept tabs on them, and they've been following directives. They've been doing everything that you want them to.
They're trustworthy?
Yes, they're fucking trustworthy. I'm sorry, they're trustworthy.
Yeah, you've got to know, Adrian, that once you're in, you're in.
The fuck do you mean? Once I'm in, I'm in?
You really think you can go back to what you were doing and pretend like all of this doesn't exist?
That wasn't part of the deal.
There wasn't a deal, Adrian. A deal implies negotiation. We told you what this was. We asked you if you wanted in. You said yes.
You didn't tell me it was going to be this bad.
Would you have accepted if I did? And I gotta be honest with you, Adrian, I wouldn't even know it would be this bad. That's the problem with this line of work. We often don't know how bad it's gonna be until we're neck deep in the shit.
So that's it then.
You've done good work. You're in with them now. I'm assuming that there's mutual respect and trust, at least I hope there is.
Yeah. And at this point, Adrian is he's holding it back, but his cheeks are wet with tears right now. He's beside himself. Yeah. They're on the level. They're cool.
Look, this job isn't done. And I know you. You don't give yourself enough credit half the time. Shit, more than half the time. Someone's got to see this to the end. Do you really want to pawn this off on someone who doesn't know what you know, who hasn't seen what you've seen, and trust them to get it done?
Are you trying to Are you trying just to talk to me like about a moral code or something? Like I shouldn't put this on other people? Like I should have it stop with us?
No. Adrian, you've known me for a minute now. When have I ever bullshitted you?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Listen, I'm gonna go back to their meeting right now. I don't want them to think that I'm gone for too long. All right.
Hey, let me ask you one last question. What would those kids want you to do?
Fuck you, man. Fuck.
He hangs up. While this conversation is happening, Sarah, Leah, Bear, what's going on back in the hotel room?
So, we're pinning it on Basil and Dale. And then we have to meet with Pitzerelli. Is it tomorrow or day after?
You did get it pushed to Tuesday with the expectation you wouldn't be able to get in until Monday to the state archives, but it's entirely possible you could now get it moved back to Monday.
Yeah, we'll probably do that, I imagine.
Yeah.
Out of character, really quick, as far as like the recruitment process goes, has Sarah ever recruited any? I know like she's worked with friendlies, but have I ever actively recruited someone into Delta Green before?
You have not.
Okay, so would the process of that mostly fall to like Pitzerelli after I've introduced it, or?
It would.
Okay, gotcha. Just wanted to make sure I didn't like say too much.
Yeah, because Pitzerelli's a full-blown case officer, which is why he's handling you guys.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure.
Velasquez speaks up. All right, so what's the next step? How do we put this to bed?
Well, we'll chat with the district attorney and get everything cleared here. Make sure that you're clear as well. And then there's a home that had a few of the kids, particularly Elle, the main girl in question here. So that might be a good place to follow up on.
Okay.
I think, unfortunately, you'll be under a lot of scrutiny, and we kind of need to move fast.
Yeah, I figured that'd be the case, especially since this Thomas Perez kid is in the wind, along with the other two.
Yeah, maybe the ABB. Because that's out. We have to track him down quick. And he may have gone to ground. He may have gone to somewhere his friends, his Elle may have found as a safe harbor, but at least somewhere she can go back to. Or somewhere we can find a clue.
Have you guys figured out how they communicated yet?
No, not fully.
We have an idea, but not a full one.
Okay. So I'm guessing that's the next step after we, you guys have your meeting is going after these three. At least I fucking hope it is.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, those kids were like mute. They didn't say a thing.
What do you mean?
Like, it was freaky, man.
Yeah. So something definitely to get to the bottom of. But...
Well, I'm sorry. Have you interacted with these people before?
Huh?
No, on the videos, they weren't saying anything.
Yeah, no. I was talking about, the videos.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Like the,
When they murdered, yeah.
Well, that and then it was fucking weird, the footage of when they took her, I don't remember seeing them talk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible they have, I don't know, some phones or something. Talking isn't the only way to communicate these days. So hopefully we'll find more when we go see where she came from. She seems like the ringleader. Or at least the most
Audacious one of the bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one with the teeth.
I think that's it for me tonight.
Yeah, we'll definitely let you know how it goes after we chat with the district attorney.
Sounds like a plan. I'm assuming you go back to the room, Adrian?
I was thinking more like I was on my way back to the room, but maybe when Leah opens the door, maybe I'm about to step in as if like the meeting is still going on, even though it's not.
Leah jumps into Adrian.
Shit.
Oh, okay. Wow. You okay?
Yeah. Just family stuff. Are we done? What?
Basically, yeah. We're not much more to discuss.
How does Adrian look right now?
flushed. He's a pretty pale kid, so like his cheeks are probably still pretty red. His eyes are probably still a little bloodshot.
Like he's been crying?
A little bit, yeah. Like he's wiped away the tears and he's like the stot too, but like he's young and pasty, so.
The bear's gonna try and get a little bit closer and like give a sniff to see if there's like if he's been smoking any Mary Jane or anything.
No Mary Jane on me.
Eventually, after sniffing a little bit, Bear's gonna look at Adrian and say, "Dude, your eyes are red."
Yeah, it's just allergies.
Oh,
This fucking place. Okay, well, if we're done, I'm gonna go back to my room. I'll see you guys in the morning.
And Velasquez will take her leave as well. Before she goes, she'll turn to you, Sarah, and say, just give me a heads up. Let me know how the meeting goes.
Yeah, I will.
And she will take her leave.
as soon as Velasquez walks out, I think Bear's going to turn to Sarah and say, "Holy fuck, I can't believe I said that. I totally forgot. She doesn't know. She doesn't know about the kids."
Get inside the room.
Yeah, gotta be a bit more careful. We might be able to recruit her officially into this, but even then, we don't want to play our cards too freely around her just yet.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about, though.
Oh, yeah.
They were not speaking. There was only one kid who was even remotely able to do anything with language, and that was with that stupid book.
That's what I was thinking about. Remember, what was it, written on the wall or something? That shit about teeth?
It was hidden in a wall.
It's like sticking in my head. Something Sredny Vastar. And his red thoughts and white teeth. What the fuck was that all about? Now that we're talking about teeth all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Might be worth looking into more. I mean, they had all those notebooks and stuff, so they're not fully incapable of communicating. It seems primarily just not to be verbal.
Not to be language, actually.
Yeah, true. Good clarification.
Because they couldn't speak. And even words, even written word is a form of communication. I don't think they could read either.
Wait a second. What if, you know how like people, like they always say that like blind people like develop like other senses? What if you raised a bunch of kids and they couldn't talk? I mean, would they find a different way of communicating?
Yeah, I mean, to Dr. Caron's point, because we have things like ASL, it's the ability to speak doesn't prevent someone, or the inability to speak doesn't prevent someone from communicating. Not being able to learn any type of language at all, or any type of ability to communicate at all from the time when you're very, very young is a different thing entirely.
Yeah, they were prevented from communicating full stop.
So maybe they found a different way.
What, you thinking like you got a bunch of psychic kids running around?
Would that be the craziest thing about this case?
Maybe not. Good point. She takes a drink.
Yeah, I think Bear's probably cracked about his fifth bourbon bottle by now.
Not all of the kids could have ended up like this.
Out of character, do we remember how many there were at the end?
Yeah, there's about a dozen.
Okay, and we've accounted for
4, 5?
You've really only got solid leads on a few, specifically El Gable.
The John Doe and Tommy.
Right.
From my notes, Lilia Bondarenko was killed.
Right. Lilia Bondarenko was another survivor. She passed away. There was a Samuel Ball who ran away in 2008 and has been missing ever since. And there was Thomas Perez. Those three were at the Arnold Springs Children's Home in Maryland. The rest were kind of shuttled elsewhere. Peace Love Incorporated in Baltimore took custody of 6. They were later sent to other private mental health facilities around the country. There was another 6 at Mary's Place in Maryland that was subsequently defunded. And then, of course, there was King Torino Children's Refuge, where El Gable ended up. The rest, the trail essentially dies out after they leave the state of Maryland because Maryland stopped tracking them.
Okay, got it.
Adrian, are you back in the room?
No, he went to his room. I think he fired up his gaming laptop and he's just like zoning out.
Got it.
So, Sarah, can you I know we were supposed to meet on Tuesday, but now that we did this, should we move it up? I just want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, I'll text Pitzerelli and let him know that we have a plan for tomorrow. And I'll get out my phone and do just that.
Well, if there's nothing else, Bear makes a big show of reaching over and scooping up 4 or 5 bottles more from the mini fridge. I think I'm gonna go hit the hay.
All right, take it easy, man.
All right. Yeah, Bear will walk out.
Which just leaves Leah and Sarah, I believe.
Leah looks at Sarah and she says, "It's never this easy, is it? Getting out after just one part of the job is done."
No. I mean, it's been a while since I worked a full job like this for them, but there's always some stupid fucking phone call at the end where the goalposts have moved and you better fall in line. So.
They still have us by the balls.
I don't know. I'd like to find these kids.
I do too, but I'm afraid of what they've turned into.
Probably more reason to find them.
Yeah. Did you ever read that short story with the Sredni Vashtar?
No, I think I just pushed it from my mind completely after we left. Yeah, maybe I'll Google it.
It's quite a read. She kind of checks back her now cold hot chocolate with the rest of the alcohol and says, "Can you imagine not being able to communicate with anybody?"
I mean, even in a normal circumstance, that would be incredibly hard, to put it lightly, but then to add on everything else those kids endured.
They were so close and yet so far away from each other.
Yeah.
Leah just kind of rubs her eyes. "Sorry. We should get some rest. If we're going to move it up to tomorrow, we should all get as much as we can."
Yeah, get some sleep.
"Thanks. Appreciate it." She kind of lifts the hot chocolate. "I'll clean it and bring the mug back."
Oh yeah, no rush.
She heads back to her room.
So with the rest of our evening, we'll start with you, Adrian. Do you just kind of zone out and game your worries away?
Yes, sir. And I think that there's even maybe a couple points where his actual family does maybe text, or his girlfriend, DMs him, but he just completely is locked in. He is just zeroed in on the game.
What do you do, Leia?
Her go-to is a hot bath and then bed. She is looking back at that short story and then just closes the window and sleeps.
Bear, are you just drowning your sorrows with Jim Beam and Jack Daniels?
Yeah, I think Bear is going to do that, and he's going to get on his phone, and he's also going to look up the Sredni Vashtar story and read through it.
And eventually, Sarah, you do get a call from Pitzerelli.
Yep, my answer. Hey.
So we're good for tomorrow?
Yeah, Baswell and Dale, Fall Guys. We'll need some protections for Velasquez. I briefly floated the idea of her going federal, and she is interested in that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's going to take some string pulling, but may be able to make it happen. Not immediately, but...
She also might be a good candidate for full recruitment.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I floated the idea that our team handles odd cases. And she didn't seem spooked by it or unnervingly interested. Just kind of a medium level of self-preservation and justice. Something that could be useful.
She's got your vote of confidence?
Yeah, I think so.
How's Adrian been doing?
A little emotional a little while ago. Why?
Just keep an eye on him. Make sure he's not coming unglued.
Is there something I should be aware of with him?
We spoke briefly, and he was under the impression that this would be the end of his involvement.
Gotcha. Is there any kind of, I don't know if I could read or sense in his voice. I don't think she'd fully be like, oh my gosh, he's set Adrian here to spy on it, that kind of thing. But Just knowing that he specifically asked me how Adrian is, like, yeah, we called. Can I maybe do a human to see if I can read anything else into that?
I wouldn't even make you do that. I mean, the fact that you were under the impression that you were the only one that had his number.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So he's got your number, huh?
Yeah, he does. Remember, I assigned him to you.
Yeah. Still.
Just got to make sure things are staying on track.
Okay. Heard.
Now let me ask you this. If you had a choice in the matter, keep him on?
It's a pretty significant pause where she very seriously considers it before she says, yeah, I think so. I think the liability of letting him go now is higher than the liability of keeping him on. I think he can be settled.
Okay. And you're comfortable continuing in the field with him?
For now, yeah. If that changes, I'll let you know. And we'll handle it. I'll handle it. Whatever.
Okay. Well, in that case, meet me in Baltimore tomorrow. The G.H. Fallon Federal Building. Just Google it. Be there at 8.
Do you want all of us?
Oh, yeah.
All right. We'll be there.
We'll see you then.
Okay.
And he hangs up.
I do text everyone that, hey, we got to be there at 8, so plan accordingly with waking up.
Adrian ignores it.
What do you do with the rest of your night, Sarah?
I think she goes over any of the records and files and anything just to make sure she doesn't miss anything, is super prepared for tomorrow, and then she'll go to bed.
Do you look up the short story with everybody else?
Not tonight. I think she might tomorrow, but tonight she wants to stay focused on we're making sure that this cover-up gets done right. Let's not be distracted.
It is now Monday, the 29th of August. Early in the morning, I'm assuming. What's y'all's plan before you head up to Baltimore?
I mean, Bear's still got his car, so he'll offer to drive.
I think Adrian overslept.
Yeah, if he's not, if we haven't heard from him and everyone else is kind of up and about, Sarah might go knock on his door.
It takes a couple moments, but you hear the kind of slow unlocking of the door. Hey, good morning. What time is it?
Hey, early, but are you ready to go?
Go? We're going?
Yeah, we got to meet Pitzerelli. Moved it to today.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I spaced. I didn't know. Shit. And he just sort of starts to stumble around.
Yeah, I think she doesn't say anything, but I do kind of want to watch his demeanor and, being more cognizant that he might be a little reluctant right now. Just want to feel the vibe.
You'd see he's got 2 laptops on his bed, and on his nightstand he probably has a bunch of different energy drinks that are empty, cans of energy drinks that are empty. And his hotel room is kind of a mess.
Okay.
But he picks up his work laptop and just kind of tucks it under his arm and throws on his windbreaker. Okay, shit, alright, yeah. Kind of pops a mint. I'm ready to go.
Great, let's go. And yeah, I'll walk down.
And I think as he's walking behind you, he finally does check his phone and he sees your texts and he silently does that thing to himself where he's like, fuck.
Well, I do believe we have 2 cars. We have one that was lent to you by Pitzerelli when you all initially convened, as well as Bear's. So how are we splitting up the convoy?
Sarah can drive the other one.
Adrian is going to go with Sarah.
And Leah's with Bear. Leah will literally go up to Bear and be like, apologies in advance. I am likely to fall asleep.
That's all right. I just apologies in advance. Probably doesn't smell too good after this weekend.
All right.
I gotta get one of the evergreen things, that you hang from your mirror.
The car freshener?
Yeah.
It's a good thing I have fabric freshener.
Does that work?
I mean, are your car seats leather or fabric?
I mean, they're fabric.
Well, it'll work.
All right.
She gets it. She basically gives his whole car like a spray down with one of the Febreze fabric like fresheners, and then gets in.
Yeah, that does smell better. I'll have to remember that.
Told you, you can have this one. And she gives him the bottle.
You guys are like all so smart.
There's a reason I have a doctorate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It must be nice.
For?
Like, sometimes I just feel like people are laughing at me, you know? Behind my back.
What makes you say that?
I mean, there goes Bear, big dumb guy. Not good for much. My wife probably fucking hates me. Anyway.
I'm not laughing at you, Bear.
That's nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Bear starts up the car.
And you all begin making your way to Baltimore. Any conversation on the way? Sarah, Adrian?
None from Adrian. I think he's just sort of like nursing an energy drink. He looks haggard, though. He's tired. His hair is disheveled. Like he literally, as soon as Sarah had knocked on the door, just like threw what he had on and, didn't even bother to brush his teeth. He just had a breath mint. So he's just like got his laptop in his lap and is just nursing his not hangover.
Yeah, I think Sarah isn't going to try to push any small talk on him right now. So probably a pretty quiet car ride with some chill tunes in the background.
I think after a while, Adrian, not looking at her, just sort of like looking out of the window, will say, "How long have you been on this whole thing?"
You mean with the program?
Yeah, if that's what you want to call it.
Oh, God, about 20 years or something like that at this point.
Do you hate it?
I don't hate it, no. It's...
Do you like it?
Sometimes.
Why?
I don't know. I like solving puzzles. I like finding answers. I mean, these ones are sometimes too much to handle, but knowing that there's stuff like this bullshit out in the world and there's only a few people who are aware and can attempt to do damage control on it. I don't know. Kind of feels like a noble purpose. I try to look at it that way.
Is it noble or is it ego?
Maybe you need a bit of both. I don't think we'll ever fix it. I don't think it'll ever go away. I don't think any job ever ends neatly. I think the best we can do is just apply band-aids where we can and hope it doesn't come calling 15 years later.
I mean, I like solving puzzles too. That's kind of a big reason I got into the whole of this. But I don't know, what we've seen isn't just a puzzle. It's fucking awful.
Yeah, it is.
And I've seen some fucked up shit. Like I've seen... I mean, you can imagine.
I mean, we got an hour.
I don't really want to talk about it.
All right, fair enough.
When I got brought on with the bureau, it's behind a desk, but it was like more important than just a desk job. Like I was doing something important. I thought, using my skills and like getting bad guys. There's something about these people though. They feel different than just. I mean, I've done murders, I've done sex crimes, I've done terrorism shit. Like all of that feels real compared to this. Like none of this feels real.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Does it ever start to feel real?
She thinks a minute before answering and then says, maybe a little, but I don't know. I don't think you want it to feel real in the same way that those things are real.
Yeah, maybe not. And he takes a significant sip of his energy drink.
Well, I'm guessing the car ride with Leah and Bear is pretty quiet.
I think Bear would pipe up after a little bit and say, I I looked up that Sredny Vostar thing on the internet last night.
You did?
Have you read it?
I've skimmed through it, yeah.
I don't know, man. There's a couple of things about it that I just can't shake. I mean, first of all, obviously, it's talking about teeth, right? And teeth just keep coming up in this.
Teeth keep coming up in this, and also the fact that those teeth that belong to a god, or something the boy proclaimed to be his god.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, though, that really freaks me out is it's about a kid, right? And a kid who feels powerless. Like, this lady's such a bitch. And what happens to her is fucking awful, right? But at the same time, when I'm reading it, I'm kind of like, yeah, she deserves it.
One might say the same of what we did to the witch in the house.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that book was there, but the kids weren't reading it, right? Because they didn't even know how to talk. So who was that for?
Bear.
Hmm?
Something in this whole situation has been leading us here. Not here necessarily right now, but things have been lining up too cleanly. Each of us has a scar from an animal, and then each of us has animals reacting strangely around us. And then if you remember that short story, that little boy made that beast his god.
Wait a second, didn't the kids kind of make their pets?
They did.
Yeah.
They connected with the pets. They all went back for them. They each connected with an animal. I don't remember if all of them were necessarily predators. Do you remember?
Yeah, the only ones I remember were, but that was mostly because they were dogs and shit, you know?
Dogs and cats, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a ferret. Ferrets are also predators, or they're omnivores. No, they're predators, actually. So...
Yeah. So...
Were they making their own gods, or were they connecting to something more? Were the animals a conduit to something more? Because everything's lining up too neatly. The animals kept helping us. The animals helped them.
Yeah.
The cat helped the kid.
You mean the cat in, what's her name's apartment?
Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie Houghton's apartment.
The cat is who closed the door so that no one would realize Carrie Houghton was gone until it was too late. And then the cat died.
What if they're communicating through the animals?
Could be.
I don't know. This is starting to make my head hurt, but I hope Adrian's right. I hope we're done with this.
Leah just kind of tightens her lips and says nothing at that. You have a wife?
I might find that out, I guess, after this weekend.
I'm sorry.
It's been coming for a while.
Any kids?
Yeah. 2. There's Gerrald, 3rd, and Tiffany. But they're out of the house. I've been out of the house for a while. We've been, guess you would call it separated. We've been apart. She's got her career in DC, and that's going really well, and maybe that's just all for the best.
Well, hopefully she'll take you back. If you want that.
Don't know what I can say. I mean, I really fucked up.
What happened?
I was supposed to meet her on Friday. I was going to fly up from back in Georgia, and then I tried to tell her, make some kind of an excuse, and she saw right through that.
Hmm.
Maybe I could get Nah, he wouldn't talk to her.
hearing from another woman would probably not improve your chances. So I'm sorry, but I cannot help.
It just, sometimes, this thing, it requires us to do things and we can't tell our family why.
I wouldn't want my family anywhere near this.
No, me neither. I think it was a mistake that I got involved.
You wish you hadn't?
I wished I hadn't gotten involved, right after Bobby and the father. But, it can be pretty convincing.
They don't really give you a choice, Bear. We'll see.
Yeah.
And with that, the four of you eventually arrive in Baltimore, specifically at the G.H. Fallon Federal Building. And Sarah, you would have received instructions to go down to the basement. And it's there that you approach ostensibly the entrance to a conference room. And you know where you're supposed to go because there is a Baltimore City Sheriff's Office bailiff waiting outside the door. He greets you all, checks your names, the names that were assigned to you when you met with Pitzerelli initially, and asks for your phones and weapons before allowing you inside.
Yeah, out of character, does this feel like protocol or does this feel a little suspicious?
It feels official. It feels like almost like a deposition.
Okay. Then yeah, Adrian will fall in line.
Does anyone refuse to hand over either their assigned weapon or their phone?
No.
No, Leah had just left hers in the car.
Smart. Once everything is collected, the bailiff locks it up in a secure locker next to his little desk that he's had set up in this long and almost liminal hallway. And he opens the door, and you all step through. Inside, at one end of the table, is Pitzerelli, along with Detective Sergeant Almedina Velasquez and Deputy Michael Costa. Pitzerelli looks up, seeing the door open. Good morning. Go ahead and have a seat.
Yeah, I go sit down.
Yeah, Adrian staggers in.
Leah comes in and takes a seat.
Or is it set up like they're on one side of the table and we're on the other, or is it?
No, it's all around.
I think Bear would probably sit next to Costa.
And Costa gives you a friendly elbow as you sit down next to him.
Hey, yeah.
Sarah, go ahead and make a human roll.
Oh my gosh. No, 96 out of 84.
Well, because of your pre-existing relationship with Pitzerelli, that's with a 20% bonus, so 76 out of 84. You see cracks in Pitzerelli's almost practiced facade. He's sweating despite the blasting AC down here. His eyes are fixed on the faces of Velasquez and Costa like a man watching a bomb count down. It's clear to you that Pitzerelli's purpose in this meeting is to judge their reactions to the versions of events that you're about to provide. There's something in you that tells you that you hold Velasquez and Costa's lives in your hands. And knowing what you know about the program and what's been asked of you before, you all will be the ones to stuff them out if they fail. Go ahead and make a sand roll for me, please.
Whoa, just barely a success.
Yeah, 46 out of 48. You lose nothing. Pitzerelli looks at you all and says, well, welcome. Today we are meeting here to discuss the results of your inquiry at Cornucopia House. Specifically, how this ended up as it did, considering that the Maryland State Police conducted an investigation earlier in 2001 and missed the bodies that are now being dug up out of the ground there. So, we'll start with you, Agent Rhodes. What do you have to report?
Yeah, well, we went over everything that was available to us, and we were also able to get into some of the files from the archives. And do I have anything physical with me that I can start laying out and sharing?
Yeah, we'll say you do.
Okay, yeah, so I'll start kind of handing those out. And from everything that we can tell, the initial officers assigned to this, Baswell and Dale, at worst were aware and covered it up, and at best were extremely negligent and in their rush to lock this down as some kind of drug-related incident, grossly overlooked the rampant evidence of child exploitation that was going on.
And Bear, since you're sitting right next to him, you notice Costa kind of nod in vindication. So the assessment then is this was not a drug-related crime, from what you can tell.
No, it was not.
And what evidence leads you to believe that this was a child exploitation ring?
Out of character, we did find evidence of that, right?
Oh yeah, the shed in particular had the ledgers and the videotapes that were obviously being made and distributed elsewhere. That was in Baswell and Dale's notes, or it would have been.
We did find evidence within a ledger and some videos that there was child abuse material being produced on that location.
And your assessment is that Baswell and Dale either overlooked this or took a more conventional approach to close it quickly?
That's my feel. We didn't find any evidence that they were directly involved with the production or benefiting from it in any way. So I get the sense that they just wanted to cover up this horrific crime, close it quickly, and they just went with the easiest explanation.
And what about the bodies they're digging out of Cornucopia House?
At that point, Leah speaks up. Per the forensic investigations, the smaller, more adolescent or younger bodies showed signs of injury and abuse.
So your assessment then is that this was, or at least these bodies are connected to whatever was going on there.
Yes. They are of the right age, they are of the right timing, and their deaths unfortunately match up the timing of their deaths.
Any assessment on how the murder of Carrie Houghton fits into this?
From what we can tell so far is that the perpetrators were survivors of this incident years ago who had managed to track her down and rightly or wrongly assumed that she had some part in it and exacted revenge.
And based on the files you've presented, Agent Rhodes, this would be El Gable, Thomas Perez, and this, as of yet, unidentified John Doe.
Correct. Those are the three that we've been able to connect directly through the video at this point.
Any indication of where the other children who were reported to have been at Cornucopia House back in, looks like 2001, any ideas on where they ended up?
Yeah, and she'll share the files that we have there. It seems like after a while, whether intentionally or not, people stopped tracking them, but we do have some leads that we could follow up on.
Okay. Detective Sergeant Velasquez, Deputy Costa, any questions? Costa speaks up. Yeah, I just want to make sure it's crystal fucking clear. This isn't falling on us. This is obviously, and he looks at Velasquez, this is obviously state police's fuck up. Pitzerelli says, we are not looking to single out or blame any one agency, but unfortunately Detectives Baswell and Dale appear to be particularly negligent in the discharge of their duties. And Velasquez is very, very flat affect at this time, just kind of taking it all in, nods lightly. Well, if that's it, Detective Sergeant Velasquez, Deputy Costa, you can go. I'm going to speak with my task force here, and we'll be in touch if we need anything further. Costa stands up, gives you another pat on the back, Bear, as he heads out. Velasquez looks over to you, Sarah, and follows behind him. And the door closes behind the two of them, leaving you alone with Pitzerelli. All right, good job. Only other questions I got is there were reports of 11, I believe 11, strangely, I guess, mummified corpses that were found there. What ended up happening with those?
There was a tragic misclassification of the corpses as medical waste.
Pitzerelli kind of smiles a little bit, nods. Nicely done.
You're welcome.
What about the this biohazardous waste they found?
Dr. Grace was able to dispose of that upon our recommendations.
Good. No further exposure to that material that we can tell?
No. I told them to be extremely cautious and just get rid of it as soon as they could.
All right. I know the press has been sniffing around any issues or concerns there.
Yeah, she's Olivia Toomey. She used to work for, I guess, a local rag. I think she got knocked down a peg. She's been on the hunt for a big story ever since.
Okay. Well, we can probably feed this to her and help cement the narrative a little bit more. Give her a win. All right. Nice work. We got to talk about what to do about Velasquez, though.
Yeah, I still think she can be rooted.
She's pretty sharp. She seems to know what she's doing.
She has a strong sense of justice.
You think we can use that in our favor?
Bear just looks at the others.
I think it's a similar reason to why many people in the program got started. Not to mention, if we put this on the state police and then something happens to her, that might bring more eyes to this case afterwards. I don't think we want to bring any more attention to this after we close it up.
I'm inclined to agree. We don't want to burn her and give her any excuse to talk about what she might know, any guilty knowledge she might have gleaned from her time with you all. I'll take it under advisement. I'll run it up the chain. Agent Selivanov, did you have anything you wanted to add?
He looks like he wants to say something for a moment, but then looks across at the others and realizes that if he does try to advocate for Velasquez not being inducted into the program, then it means that she has to die. Or something along those lines. I think that he kind of just sinks back into his chair and says, "No, sir."
All right. Well, listen, you all have done pretty solid work here, and we certainly appreciate it. Listen, after today, go home, get some rest. I can give you about 2 days, but after that, you all are going hunting. We need to track down these 3 survivors, if you want to call them that. Find out what they know, what they're doing, why they're doing it. And then there's that whole Crystal Killian murder, the thing that kicked this whole thing off, how she ended up with your names, why she had them. We need you to run that down. And any other leads you feel worthy of tying up, we'll let you off the leash. Do what you got to do. But I expect regular updates. Any questions?
Sarah is just looking at Adrian.
He's like trying not to look at Sarah, and is just sort of like trying to keep his eyes down and focused on the desk.
Logistically, for my work, just looking for a way to explain this to the bosses.
We'll take care of that.
Done.
Okay, so we got the 3. What leads do you have? I mean, obviously Florida with this Crystal Killian. What else?
The house they were sent to, the North Carolina house.
Is that the, what is that, King Torino? Something like that?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Then also, nearby actually is the nursing home where the previous caseworker for Cornucopia House was. I don't know how much of a lead that is, honestly, though.
Well, the kids went after Carrie. You think he might be at risk?
Could be. But Carrie was more of a pointed, a message, I think.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
I mean, there's all this shit with the animals, right?
I think Adrian shoots a look over at Bear when he says that.
Bear will probably notice that and just kind of shut his mouth.
What shit with the animals?
There's been some instances of strange animal behavior around this case. We're keeping an eye and tracking it. That's all.
Anything that we need to be worried about?
No.
If it does become something like that, we'll let you know.
With all due respect, Doctor. And he finally looks up at Pitzerelli when he says this. You don't have to worry about it. We do.
Anything else I need to be aware of?
Don't get bit.
Okay.
Bear will actually like hold his hand out and show, the scar that he has.
Right. Agent Hart, anything I need to be concerned with here?
No, I think that about sums it up.
Right. All right, any hard copy documents you have, files, notes, your IDs that you were provided. There's a shredder in the basement, any electronics, anything you have stored electronically. Give them to Adrian. Adrian, you'll come with me. We'll get those archived.
You got it.
Understood.
Very well.
And with that, as you gather everything up, Adrian, Pitzerelli leads you to a room with a quality archival scanner. And he essentially takes whatever digital media you have, any documents, anything that you all have, and he scans it in to this 60 terabyte solid state drive that's attached to the scanner. Everything is digitized and scanned in. Everything that you seized is copied over. And eventually he removes both the scanner's computer memory and the 60 terabyte drive and puts it into a Faraday bag. He then turns to the rest of you. Okay. Any originals? There's a paper shredder in the basement. Go ahead and bring it down there. Get rid of it. Before you go, though, we still have a lot of questions. What happened to this Crystal Killian? How did your names get in the mix? Where did these 3 kids go? What do they want? Just rest up and get ready to go to work.
We'll see you in 2 days.
All right. Basement's that way. And he directs you to the stairwell going down to the sub-basement with the shredder. Any conversation on the way?
I mean, Bear will say, are we going to stay together for the next 2 days? I'm not going to drive to Georgia.
I have to get a flight home. I have to explain myself.
I mean, I'll probably stay local.
We have each other's numbers, at least this time.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind, Sarah, I wouldn't mind staying wherever you are.
Sure. Yeah, I'll find somewhere and let you know.
Well, with that, you all head down to the sub-basement, I'm guessing, where you find a high-capacity industrial paper shredder that's located at the edge of this loading dock leading to a service elevator. It's this massive, machine that can cut 650-page binders into ribbons in seconds. There's a 100-gallon industrial baler at the bottom of the machine, which is padlocked, probably until it's offloaded by someone in waste service and transported to an incinerator. There is a dump truck nearby that Pitzerelli would have warned you is there to take whatever you all shred and take it directly to a furnace. There's a clueless driver just playing on his phone. Who starts shredding the documents?
I think Adrian will.
Yeah, as you power it on and you begin shredding, this thing operates with this squealing whine as the teeth of the machine whir into motion. And almost as soon as the engine of the shredder starts, you see the brake lights of the dump truck flash. And as these documents are being shredded, you see him begin to back up towards the machine to load the bale. There's a loud beeping indicator that's just resonating off of these cement walls. And over the screaming engine of the shredder, that's a cacophony. But there's something that becomes clear very quickly is that the truck is riding too high. It doesn't have full clearance. The top of the truck clips this big metal sign reading loading dock. A chain breaks free, sending one end of the sign scything through a rusting pipe of the overhead sprinkler system. There's a sudden rush of high-pressure iron oxidized water, spraying this reddish-brown stink all over the basement. The other mooring on the sign snaps, bounces off the braking dump truck, and slams on top of the shredder. The weight of the debris tips the shredder over the lip of the loading dock and sends the entire apparatus slipping over the edge. Before any of you can even think to say stop, you witness this 2-ton machine slip over the edge and explode against the concrete below. The still running engine sends a spray of confetti into the air. Paper weaves through the hissing red sprinklers like streamers in a maelstrom. In that moment, you feel your scar from where you were bitten, from where you were scratched, from where you were wounded, begin to itch. And you look down, Adrian, and you notice that 3 scraps of shredded paper have landed on that bite, with splotches of red water on certain words. You can make out a little bit. Defendants ask that the state acknowledge, with ask almost highlighted by this red water. Authorities wish to know the providence. No, highlighted. Become the point of contact for. Become stained by that reddish water. What do you do?
He is holding his wrist, the hand that had been scratched or bitten by the bat. And I think he's shaking, looking down at the scraps of paper and looking at those 3 words, ask, no, become. And he says something in Russian, mutters it to himself, not trying to be, like, if someone was close to him, they'd be able to hear him, but he's not, like, shouting it. But he does speak up in Russian, says something to the effect of, Baba, is that you?
At that moment, the oblivious driver of the dump truck exits looking for a shut-off valve and cursing about getting fired. You see the back of his jumpsuit. It reads, Cat's Paws Shredding Services, and the cartoon cat logo is eerily familiar to some of you. The misaligned, damaged teeth of the broken shredder continue to spark and scream, grinding themselves to shrapnel against the concrete. Bear, you see some of this confettied, shredded paper at your feet. Sarah, Leah, you do as well. Somehow you see those same 3 words. Impossibly. Under that water, that brackish, reddish spray of water coming from that broken pipe. Ask, no, become. Everyone make a sand roll, please.
Success.
Oh boy.
So, Sarah, with an 89 out of 48, you lose 1. Adrian, with a 26 out of 73, you succeed, you lose nothing. Leah, with an 83 out of 66, you lose 1. And Bear, with a 43 out of 48, you lose nothing. Leah and Sarah, you have this sudden, intrusive thought. If you have questions, you have until the last remnant lands to snatch answers from the air. And almost out of instinct, Adrian, you reach up to snatch a piece of paper out of the air. With that question still lingering on your tongue, Baba, is that you? And you see a single word. Hunt. Leah, Sarah, is there anything you ask?
Where is Samuel?
You reach up to snatch a piece of paper. Hunting.
Was all of this on purpose?
Your piece of paper reads, always.
Does Bear get to ask a question?
Yeah, fuck it.
I think Bear would probably just mutter under his breath, "Why me?"
Chosen.
Well, we're part of something much larger than we thought we knew.
With those last bits of paper still falling and settling onto the ground beneath your feet, does anyone have any remaining questions? I'll give you one more.
Who is John Doe?
Tooth.
What happened to Chloe?
Culled.
God. Where are the answers we seek?
Pray. With an E, not an A.
Yeah.
And with that, with these last remnants of this shredded paper settling to the ground around you, this water spraying, this dump truck driver cursing, and you all left unsettled by the answers or semblance of answers that you've received. we will bring tonight's session to a close. Thank you for listening to Delta Green, God's Teeth, part of the Black Project Gaming podcast. If you like what you heard, please consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or a comment on YouTube. Be sure to visit blackprojectgaming.com for previous and future Delta Green episodes. If you'd like updates on all future releases, please follow us on Blue Sky or Facebook. Until next time, I'm Vince, your host and handler, with Cami as FBI Special Agent Sarah Hart, Doug as Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent Gerrald Bear Swenson, Jack as Special Agent Adrian Selivanov with the FBI's Computer Analysis Response Team, and Sonia as Dr. Leah Caron with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Thank you again, and remember, we'll be seeing you.